This is your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Thursday, December 27. So glad you can join us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Less than a week ahead of the January 5th official opening of Ross University, Prime Minister Mia Mottley today led a team of her ministers and other officials to a tour of the university's facilities at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center and the housing accommodation for students at the villages at Coverley. Prime Minister Mottley is happy with the work at both locations. She praised Barbadians, various ministries, developer Mac Maloney, and other contractors for the job and reiterated that it will deliver big benefits to the economy. She also revealed that negotiations have begun with another educational institution.
We start off the year with the equivalent of 75,000 seven-day tourists. That's what Ross's equivalent to us will be. But we talk about Ross, and we haven't spoken about the work that we're doing already with Chamberlain University, which is the nursing school, and we're looking to see how we can ramp up that as we go along. But we want to perfect what we're doing with Ross first, while at the same time having the conversations between the Barbados Community College and Chamberlain, because as you know, the government of Barbados is already in the provision of nursing education. But we feel through partnership we can deliver better and more, especially given that there's a global shortage of nurses.
Prime Minister Mottley urged Barbadians to embrace the 500 students who are expected to arrive here from this weekend.
And I want to reach out to every Barbadian. If you see a lot of students moving around, you know where they're from, make them feel as though they're home. God knows that our own children, when they go overseas, we are so happy when people treat them as if they're their own children and treat them as if they're own, and they look out for them. And we want to do the same thing for the students coming to Barbados.
Meanwhile, businessman Mac Maloney said the project was the perfect example of public-private sector partnerships.
I think we've achieved here as a group is no short of being amazing. Just 3.5 months ago we were discussing facilitating bringing Ross here to Coverley, and we assembled a team of over 1,000 workers from every aspect of the construction that you could think of, and furniture and fit out and procurement. And to get everything done in this time, I think is, you know, just phenomenal, and just shows what can happen in Barbados when everybody comes together. And we welcome Ross. We're looking forward to welcoming the students here and to this amazing feat for Barbados and the government of Barbados. Congratulations to them. It couldn't have been done without the vision of the Prime Minister. So we're just honored to be a part of this here, and we're looking forward to our long relationship with Ross and the government of Barbados and all the amazing things that we look to do for this country.
At the same time, President and CEO of Adtalem Global Education, the parent company of Ross University, Lisa Wardell, said the university was anxious to get started.
We have lots of faculty who are also making their homes here. The medical school was, as the Prime Minister mentioned, just a shell. It has, and I think we all saw today, some state-of-the-art technology as it relates to anatomy and simulation labs that is going to really pioneer and put Barbados on the map here for medical education. So we could not be more thrilled.
In other news, businessman DeCosta Alexander Brathwaite was granted $220,000 bail with 2 sureties when he appeared in the District A Magistrates Court on 2 drug-related offenses this morning. And while the 53-year-old managing director of these mega styles, who lives at number 2 Charleston's Gardens, St. Michael, was able to return to his home until January 24, 2019, his co-accused, Jamaican fisherman George Washington Williams, was not so fortunate. Williams was remanded to HMP Dodds. The 2 are accused of doing preparatory acts for the purpose of trafficking cannabis and conspiring with another person to traffic cannabis on December 20th. The illicit substance in question is said to weigh 49 kilograms and has an estimated $440,000 street value. The accused were not required to plead to the indictable charges when they appeared before Magistrate Douglas Frederick. The head of the Barbados Fire Service wants to see more action taken against Barbadians who engage in indiscriminate burning. Chief Fire Officer Errol Maynard revealed that the service will be proposing the implementation of a permit for citizens to burn stuff to the Minister of Home Affairs, Edmund Hinkson. Maynard spoke to the media today as officers at the St. John Fire Station distributed hampers throughout the parish.
It's been found that Barbadians tend to use fire to clean up around their residence. It's not a good practice. A matter of fact, in most cases, it is a nuisance. It impacts on the environment, it impacts on health, those persons who have health challenges, and basically we do not encourage it. A matter of fact, we are looking at finding legislation that you get a permit, so you have to get a permit to burn, but that has to be discussed with our minister and our ministry and see how we can work with that. But part of the plan going forward is to look at asking people to have a permit to burn, because 90% of the fires that we get and that we respond to sometimes are fires that started small and it got out of control because persons don't know what they're doing, and then we have to expend a lot of resources to extinguish the fire. So we are looking at addressing that.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now. Guyana's president and opposition leader will meet early next year to discuss the way forward after the opposition successfully piloted a no-confidence motion on December 21. More in this report from Handel Duncan of HGP-TV News.
Despite other views, the outcome of that no-confidence motion passed against the government is now clear, according to opposition leader Bar Jagdeo.
There is this false hope, or to say to some APNU supporters that we were cheated in the parliament. I think this is all to say we were cheated. It was illegal, we were cheated, the vote was not carried properly, etc. To create a sense of hurt once again. And when you create a sense of hurt, you can mobilize people on that basis because they feel cheated.
The opposition leader told a Monday news conference that the clerk of the National Assembly has since written to him.
As certified by the clerk of the National Assembly, and I received that from him here today, certification, that the motion of no confidence in the government has been passed by a majority of 33 to 32.
Jagdeo urges a meeting between the government and the opposition very early. In fact, that meeting is set to take place after the return of President David Granger from Cuba. The president will leave on Christmas Day for another round of chemotherapy.
And further afield, a partial U.S. government shutdown is likely to continue into next week amid an impasse over funding for President Donald Trump's proposed Mexico border wall. Today, both Congress chambers adjourned within minutes without acting to end the 6-day closure. Many lawmakers did not return to Washington for the sessions. Whether or not to fund the wall is the issue holding up the passing of a government funding budget. Trump says he will not compromise on his demands for funding to build the border wall between the U.S. and Mexico to tackle illegal immigration.
I've made my position very clear. Any measure that funds the government must include border security. Has to. Not for political purposes, but for our country, for the safety of our community. This is not merely my campaign promise. This is the promise every lawmaker made. It is the solemn promise to protect and defend the United States of America, and it is our sacred obligation. We have no choice.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.